What is up, YouTube? It's Dawson, and in this video, we're going to talk about what happens when all of this, the ADA is minted for the Cardano blockchain. What happens when we hit that 45 billion token supply? Are more ADA going to be minted? How are people going to get staking rewards? Is there going to be a huge supply shock? If you're interested in these questions and want to know the answers, we got them for you here today in this video. Just stay to the end and we'll get to it right now. Now, for starters on this topic, I think there's really two key points actually to talk about. And that is the first thing, the total supply of ADA. The second thing is the Treasury pot mechanism. Okay, so to start, all 45 billion of the ADA total supply that will ever be in total supply have already been minted. Now, you might be saying, Dawson, circulating supply does not equal total supply right now. The circulating supply somewhere is around 33, 34 billion, I think, off the top of my head. But where is that gap if you're saying all 45 billion have been minted? Upon the mint of all the ADA tokens, 13.8 were given to the Cardano Treasury to hold as reserves. And these are what have been paying our staking rewards, before transaction fees were live and even currently. Every epoch, Treasury funds, these reserves of ADA, are being pulled out into the circulating supply and given to, ADA delegators for their SPO rewards. This is the first big thing to note. All ADA has currently been minted, all 45 billion. It's just not all in circulating supply. And over time, over a very long time, this ADA will be drained out of the reserves at 0.3% and given to circulating supply as staking rewards. The other really important thing to note is how this decides how much ADA is paid out to staking delegators. So every epoch, all the transaction fees are bundled up and they're put into a pot. Okay. Then 0.3% of those reserve ADA in the Treasury is pulled and added to this pot. Now, this pot's huge, right? And 20% of it is put back into the Treasury and 80% of it is given as staking rewards. So that's how you get your staking rewards. It's actually all transaction fees plus 0.3% of the Treasury reserve ADA minus 20% of this pot, and we get the last 80 as staking rewards. This 20% goes back to the Treasury. Now, how long do we have until this Treasury reserve is fully drained and we're relying only on transaction fees to pay our ADA? Well, because it's a percentage of what's in there, we're going to have a very long tail emission. Okay, so every epoch, 0.3% is pulled out from the reserves, and over time, as those reserves deplete, we're still pulling only 0.3%. So we're going to have, some people have even speculated, over 100 years before these reserves are fully depleted, but they'll just be so little that it won't even matter towards the end. As these reserves are depleted, transaction fees are going to have to come in and really increase on the Cardano network to keep everyone getting paid their 3 to 5% returns every epoch on their ADA staked. So in this new era, as the reserves are pulling out and the transaction fees take over the majority of the pot, how are ADA delegators going to get paid their 3, 4, 5%? Well, in order for 3, 4, 5% to remain a staple of Cardano staking returns, transaction fees are going to have to greatly increase on the network. Now, I think you and I can agree that if transactions just don't increase generally, then Cardano is going to fail, right? Because it won't be able to survive on its own without the reserves. If transaction fees don't have enough to pay off its staking rewards, then the staking program's going to decrease, and then people, the blockchain just won't have enough transactions to fund itself. Another really realistic scenario is that while we're currently being paid out from the staking rewards from the Treasury, we have a very normalized return rate. Everyone's getting anywhere from 2 to 5%, 3 to 5%, somewhere in there. But as these, reserves of ADA are pulled out of the Treasury and we're relying heavier and heavier on transaction fees, we could see some more volatile ADA return rates. 1 month, you might be getting 3%. 1 month, you might be getting 1%. 1 month, you might be getting 5%. 1 year could be a bull market. 1 year could be a bear market. And as we know, bull markets have transactions. Bear markets have less transactions. So it would not shock me to see some volatile percentage returns as transaction fees take over the majority of that pot. Really, as the last ADA is minted out in circulating supply, we're going to rely heavily on the number of transactions on Cardano for how much percent you're going to be paid out in staking rewards. Now, what about an ADA supply shock? Is there going to be a huge supply shock when that last ADA is released from the Treasury and put out as circulating supply? In my opinion, I think it's too far away, too long away to even worry about. I think really we're getting close to that supply shock now. About 34 billion ADA are in circulating supply, a huge percentage of the 45 billion. And, probably in the next couple of years, I would expect to see that supply shock take place, kind of more like the Bitcoin supply shock we see, and how, people are realizing that Bitcoin is scarcer and scarcer every year. And I think the same thing with ADA will happen for Cardano. I don't know if that's going to make ADA be $5 or $50, but I do know in order for ADA to be worth, for the community to keep growing, we will need transactions to go up, and that will drive the price up because, more will be put in the treasury, more will be in people's hands. And so it won't be as free to get out there for everyone. So I do believe it will make the price go up. But that's basically what happens. It's not too complicated. All the ADA has currently been minted. It's just not all released as circulating supply. The circulating supply will be added from the treasury reserves to fund that circulating supply, to fund staking rewards, etc. As those treasury reserves from the Cardano treasury are drawn down, we will need transactions on Cardano to increase. And these transaction fees are going to go into a huge pot with those staking rewards. And this is going to pay out your SPOs. It's going to pay out your delegators. It's going to keep the cycle of ADA moving. And this will run into its own system over and over and over. Eventually, the ADA treasury will be all out of reserve ADA, and the total supply of ADA will be out there at 45 billion. And then every epoch, all the transaction fees will be gathered up into a pot, and it will just be 20% split to the Cardano treasury for funding of Catalyst, funding of this and that, and 80% will just go right back out to SPO delegators to be spent again and done all over again. That's the cycle of ADA. That's how they plan for it to see over the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years as these reserves are drawn down and as the transactions on the network grows. If you liked the video, we really appreciate a comment and subscribe. I really hope that this ideas were really good of value to you, and that this kind of helps you grow in Cardano and understand how these things are working in the back end. Please, if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. And remember, we have our hoodies down in the bottom section. Great house hoodie. Check them out. Other than that, have a great week. See you in the next one.